There you go.
Good morning, 7th graders, and welcome back to Highlands Middle School. I know you're not actually back, but you're back because you're with us and you're here virtually today. So we are looking forward to an awesome school year. It's going to be different, it's going to be challenging, and it's going to be unique, but you guys are strong Scotties. And your teachers are rock stars. They've been training all summer to prepare for this day and this virtual learning opportunity to make sure that you guys get everything you need to go to 8th grade next year. So what I need you to do right now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mrs. McCord. I am the principal. For those of you who don't, if you already know me, one of the things I need you to do is I need you to get your Chromebook out so you can take notes, and Mr. Elkins is going to walk you through some things that some of you already know from last year, but it's a good reminder as well. And then if you don't have your Chromebook charged, got to do that every morning. That's super important. Make sure that you have something to write on because he's going to be sharing a lot of really important information. Then you'll need to make sure that you're going along with him. There is a place where you can do question and answers. And Mr. Elkins is going to spend about the next 45 to 50 minutes with you. So I'm going to let Mr. Nacarado pop in and say hi, and then Mr. Elkins will take over for the rest of the time. Make it a great year. I know you will.
Class coach, please. All right, good morning, 7th grade students. My name is Mr. Nacarado, assistant principal. They call me Mr. Knock. I'll be your principal grade level for this year. So if you have any difficulties, any questions that I can answer for you, please don't hesitate to call or to write to me. And I hope you have a good school year. Let's have a good day. Take care.
All right, 7th graders. So we're going to go through PowerPoint. There's a question and answer, and let me just click on it to make sure I can see it. So there's a question and answer section, so you can add questions. Basically, the way this is going to work is I'm going to go through a PowerPoint. Honestly, most of the PowerPoint is going to be stuff that you probably already know because you guys did online at the end of the year in the spring. But I just want to cover everything to make sure that I'm answering the questions that I need to have answered. And then the rest of the time will be just me answering questions. At about 11:30, I'm going to send out another link to a question and answer session that we're going to do at 1 o'clock. It's optional. If you want to show up, you can. If you don't want to show up, you don't have to. I will answer the questions that show up in the Google form that I sent out last night. And any other questions that get asked, I will answer. So it'll just be a question and answer for about an hour starting at 1, and then that's your day today. So you don't have to go to any other classes today, just this, and then do the assignment that I sent out last night to your email. I am going to real quick change something real quick here. Share. Okay. 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 All right. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. So Highlands Middle School, the first day of school, distance learning. As you know, we're going to be in distance learning. I do want to talk about a couple of changes from the spring, important changes. The first one is that you are going to be graded. So that's an important change from the spring, because it really is important that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing if you want to get a good grade. Grades are something that are, I wish they were, I wish that we were doing this to learn and not for the grades, but unfortunately, for many of us, and including me when I was in middle school, if I'm being honest, grades are going to be the motivating factor, but it is important this year in the fall that you are actually doing it to get the grade. Also, attendance is going to be counted, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the next slide, in one of the other slides. Today we're going to talk about email access. If you already know how to do that, then you're good. We're going to talk about teacher introduction videos. So this is one thing that you may or may not have done. Google Classroom. Most of you have probably been in Google Classroom, so that's not going to be too big a transition for you. Teacher Google codes. That's something you should be getting in your email. And again, because you guys have done Google Classroom, should not be a huge transition for you. The student handbook, and then a little bit about PowerSchool. So the very first thing I want to talk about is email. Email, you have to check your email. We may not all like it, and if you talk to my teacher friends, some of them will tell you that email is not my favorite thing all the time either. Sometimes it gets to be a little overwhelming because you're getting so many emails. But it's something that you have to do. You have to read your emails. So this is how you check your emails. Now there's a couple of different ways. You can also get there from Rapid Identity. And since most of you are 7th graders and you've used Rapid Identity, that's pretty easy for you guys to do. But one of the ways you can get there is to go to the ksd.org website. Just type in ksd.org, it'll take you there. Hover over where it says students, just hover over it, and then this will pop out, and then click on email and sign in. Your username is going to be the same username that you use to log into your Chromebook. And your password is going to be the same one that you use to log into your Chromebook. So your username is your graduation year, your first name, dot your last name. So mine is 94.dave.elkins. This is our webpage, and I want to show you a couple of important things. Some of them are things that you probably haven't seen before because they're kind of new to our webpage. So I just talk about a couple of them. So first of all, right here, this is the remote learning schedule. I will show that to you in a little bit. If you want to just click on it right there, you can see it. Student schedules, you need to get those via PowerSchool. I said this in the last one. We really want you guys doing as much online as you can. The cost of sending home schedules is pretty high, and not only that, but it's not really great for the environment to print off 800 sheets of paper to send home to every student. So we really want you looking at that on PowerSchool. The other thing about PowerSchool is it is live. So as we make changes to the schedules, if there's some reason that we need to make a change to your schedule, you'll be able to see that in PowerSchool, but it won't change on the paper. So you want to be able to check PowerSchool live. A couple of other important links that are on our webpage. So this is a picture of our webpage. So if you open up our webpage and then scroll down just a little bit, you'll see this. Chromebook and internet access. This is how, if you don't have a Chromebook yet or you don't have internet access, this is where you can go to get that. If you don't have internet access, I'm not sure how you're going to get here, but at any rate, you can go here and get Chromebooks. Helpful how-to videos. So this one is kind of important, even to 7th graders, because as it was determined we were going to go to remote learning, they started putting together a bunch of videos. And some of the videos are going to be things that you already know how to do, but some of the videos are going to be things that you might not know how to do. One of the videos is how to check your PowerSchool. So if you don't know how to do that, you can figure that out on there. One of the videos is for your parents. Mr. Pies did a very nice job on a video for your parents, how to check their email. I'll go through some more of the videos that are there, but there are lots of videos on that you can look at. Down here, there's that how to check your email video. So this is in English and Spanish. Miss Barca, who's a brand new teacher here, she has worked for Highlands for a while, but she's brand new teacher here. Put together these videos on how to check your email. And then the last thing down here is teacher videos. And if you click on this link, it's just going to take you to a Google Sheet that's got a link to videos that your teachers did to introduce themselves. So part of your assignment today, so in your email, you got an assignment last night. And part of the assignment is to go watch the videos for your teachers. So that's where you go to do that. Since I'm talking about the assignment that you got last night, the assignment that you got last night has a list of things that you need to do, and one of them is to go to a Google form and to and then answer the questions, and you'll need to be able to do some of these things to answer those questions. So the how-to videos include videos, actually a couple of videos on Google Classroom, Google Apps. So they include videos on Google Docs, Sheets, Google Drive, anything that's Google. They've got some videos in there for. There's a couple of videos for PowerSchool, like I said. Other apps. There's some social emotional videos connected in there. Some videos about COVID-19. And then other tips. So those are all videos that you can find on our webpage. This is Rapid Identity. Again, I know most of you guys have seen Rapid Identity, but just a couple of things that you can get to from Rapid Identity. My Rapid Identity looks a little different than your Rapid Identity. So the Rapid Identities are kind of individualized to where you are, who you are. So I've got a lot of stuff on here that you wouldn't have. But here are some things that you would have access to in Rapid Identity. Zoom, the Google Suite, so you'd have Google Docs, Sheets, Forms, and Slides. Destiny, which is to our library, and I know Miss Malley is really working hard to get more ebooks that you guys can check out. So even though you can't come in, you can still check out books. So she's working on that. Envision Math, which isn't shown, it's not on my Rapid Identity, but I'm pretty sure it's on yours. So that's where you can get your math book. There's a link to PowerSchool. Mine looks a little different because it's Power Teacher. FOSS Web, which is the science curriculum. A link to your email. A link to Office 365. So that would be Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Your Google Drive, which is going to be really important to you. I have to tell you, since this time last year, this has become a really big deal for me and for teachers. This is where everything is. I use Google Drive every single day. So this is going to be become an important part of your life. And then a link to Google Classroom. Also, and I didn't point this out in the last one, but there's also a link to the COVID screening, but I'm not sure what that looks like yet on the student ones. But you will have a COVID screening when we come back. So, PowerSchool. So for PowerSchool, I need you to go watch the video. If you've logged into PowerSchool, you probably don't need to watch the video. Again, I've said this several times, but the username and password are going to be the same one that you use to log into your Chromebook. So use the same username and password that you logged in to get into your Chromebook. So here's the schedule. You are going to be on Mondays and Thursdays going to your odd period classes, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and on Tuesdays and Fridays going to your even period classes, 2, 4, 6, 8. And on Wednesday, it's going to be all asynchronous. So asynchronous means that you're not going to be Zooming. It's not going to be live. It's going to be, you could be watching videos or doing other assignments, but you're not going to actually be live. And synchronous means that it is live. So an example of a synchronous thing is what you're doing right now. So this is live, so right now, so this is synchronous. If you were to watch a recording of this, that would be asynchronous. So Zoom would also be considered asynchronous. So you're going to do 45 minutes of synchronous and 45 minutes of asynchronous each period. Now, one of the things you have to be aware of is that at 8 o'clock, 9:30, 11:30, and 1, you need to be logged into your class, into your Zoom, so that the teacher can see that you're there. That's when the teacher's going to be taking attendance. We're going to, when we get to the question and answer session, I'm going to talk a little bit about Zoom because I got a lot of questions in the last meeting about Zoom. So I'll talk a little bit about some Zoom things, but your teachers will also be going over what the expectations are in Zoom. During the hour and a half, so from 8 to 9:30, you are not going to be in a Zoom for an hour and a half. So that's, your teachers, that's a long time for your teacher to Zoom. It's a long time for you to be in a Zoom. So some of that time will be asynchronous. So the teacher might say, have a class meeting at 8 o'clock and 8:15, say, okay, now go do this assignment, and come back at 9 o'clock, and then come back and talk about the assignment that you just did, and then they might assign you to do something else. So you might be in and out of Zoom, or they might be using breakout rooms, but it won't be all just sitting in a Zoom during that hour and a half. And it should not be, half of it should actually be asynchronous. So just to cover this, because I got this question in the last question and answer a bunch too. Today, this is your only class. This is the only thing you're going to do today, is just go to this, and then a question and answer at 1 o'clock if you want to. And then you have an assignment that I sent out in your email, but you don't have to go to your other classes today. So your classes will actually start on Thursday. So on Thursday, you'll go to your first period class at 8 o'clock, and then you'll follow the schedule. So your assignment for today is to check your email. If you need to watch the video to do that, then watch the video. Check your PowerSchool for the schedule. If you need to watch the PowerSchool video, you can do that. Go watch all of your teachers' introduction videos. Watch the Google Classroom videos if needed. If you've been on Google Classroom, you probably don't have to do that. And then go log into all of your Google Classrooms. The other things you need to do are review the handbook, and in the assignment that I sent out last night, there is a link to the handbook, but you can also find it on our webpage under school, but there's a link in the assignment that I sent out last night. Specifically, you need to review page 2, which is our vision, and page 10, which is pause, and the computer use pages, which is pages 21 through 25. When we actually come back to inline or online, we will spend some more time on the handbook, but for now you need to cover those pages. In the assignment that I sent last night, there's a Google form. You're going to do that. There's also a link to this PowerPoint in the assignment that I sent out last night, so you can just click on this PowerPoint if you have questions. So without further ado, I'm going to answer questions from the question and answer, and it looks like right now I have 35 questions, so we'll go through these. I'm not sure that the tab open for 12 hours. I'm not sure, Anonymous, what you meant there. Okay, so the teachers are. Somebody asked if the teachers are going to put the Zoom link in their classroom every day. Yes, they'll put the Zoom links in so that you can get to them. I think most of the teachers are figuring out, and I haven't done this, but most of the teachers are figuring out how to set a reoccurring link. So you have one link that just reoccurs every time you're supposed to Zoom. So you'll be able to click on the same one. Somebody asked about Chromebooks, if your Chromebooks aren't charged on that day. So when the teachers talk about Zoom expectations, one of the expectations they're going to talk about is make sure your Chromebook is charged. If it's not charged, then find a place to sit where you can plug it in. They are going to talk about Zoom expectations. One of the expectations is going to be that you have your first and last name. So when you go in, you have your first and last name. If your camera's on, make sure that you're dressed appropriately. I put on a tie this morning because I knew I was going to have this meeting. So make sure that you're dressed appropriately. Make sure that you're in a quiet place, as quiet a place as you can find. If while you're in there in a Zoom, mute yourself so that you're not distracting. And one of the rules I talked about in the last one is, if it's the biggest rule that you should ask yourself about what you should do in a Zoom is it distracting? And if it's not, or if it is distracting, you shouldn't do it. So if you're doing something that's going to be distracting, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. Somebody asked about eating. Yeah, eating in Zoom, probably not the best idea. I mean, in most cases. I've sat in a lot of Zoom meetings over the last 5 months. I can tell you that there are people who eat where it doesn't, it's, cool. It doesn't bother me because they're, eating a nut or whatever. But then there's other people who are, eating, shoving a whole ice cream in their mouth or something like that. That's probably distracting. So turn off your camera if you're going to do that. Most teachers are going to ask you to turn on your camera because we want to be able to see you. This is how the teachers are going to get to know you. This is a really unfortunate time for us because the school year starting and normally we'd be getting to know you, and now we're trying to do it via Zoom, and that's not a very convenient way to get to know people. But we want to get to know you, and when you come in, we want to be able to say, hey, that's Sam Smith right there, because we want to know who you are. So, as much as possible, we'd like you to turn on your camera. So the reason you're not going to your teachers today is because, I wanted to cover some things. So not everybody got their Google Class codes yet, because not everybody, particularly sixth graders, knew how to check their email. So we wanted to make sure that we hold on, I'm gonna. And I do want to say a couple of things about, so I'm seeing some comments in here that aren't appropriate, and I want to say a couple of things about that. Just because you're not in school doesn't mean there won't be discipline. So if you're doing things that you're not supposed to on Zoom, we're going to figure out who you are, and when we do, then we will deal with that. And that's the reason that you're not going to be allowed in as any other name. That's the reason you won't be allowed into Zooms under names other than your name. We have 224 people in here right now. We had 225, but one person was being inappropriate and had to leave. So we have 225 now. Probably that person's back. I'll have to kick them out again. Oh, and Ms. Davis wanted me to talk a little bit about, we have every adult in the building was assigned a small group of students, less than 13 students, that they're going to be checking in. They're going to be checking in with. So I have 13 students that I'm assigned to that I'm going to be checking in with, and those are kind of whoever that adult is that's checking in with you is going to be kind of a go-to person for you. So if you have questions, you can email them, you can call them, you can contact them, whatever. But they're going to be concentrating just on that small group. So that's kind of who's going to be like your go-to contact. So for example, if you're not doing your work and you're not showing up to Zooms, The first person I'm going to contact is whoever your go-to person is, and I'm going to have them reach out to you and see what's going on. And we did that so that you know, I'm not responsible for every single person to go to every single person in my class if that isn't showing up to Zooms. I can kind of, you know, just take care of my 13, and I can have somebody else take care of their 13, so we can make sure that everybody's showing up. So just be looking out for a phone call or an email from that person. I'm Isaiah asked about a PowerSchool question about why it's logging him out. Go ahead and Isaiah call the office and see if they can't help you out with that. Melissa says she did not. If you didn't get an email, call the office and we'll see if we can help you out. There's not going to be school tomorrow, but check your Google Classroom and see if there's any assignments in there. Some of the teachers might have put in some get to know you assignments, but you won't be Zooming tomorrow. Yes, actually somebody asked a really good question. Math and ELA are going to Zoom every day because they were already set up as a block. That's actually the reason that we're doing odd days and even days instead of periods 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. Is so that math and ELA teachers can meet with you every day because we really want them to be able to meet with you every day. How's PE going to work? You're going to get some videos and some links from your PE teachers on Friday. And also you should have already gotten links to their PowerSchool. I mean, not to their PowerSchool, but to their Google Classrooms. So you should already be in your Google Classrooms. But you will you'll get some links that you need to be logging into and following those directions. So today is Tuesday. Aiden asked if you're going to work on Tuesday. Yes, today's Tuesday. So you basically, you're going to do this meeting, and then you're going to go to, then you're going to go do your assignment. Isaiah, call the school and they'll be able to help you. And give me 1 second. I'm also getting some. I'm getting some questions. From my phone as well, so I'm just checking those. Yes, teachers are probably going to be graded daily. Yeah, the teachers are going to give you time in between classes, so you don't have to worry about getting to your next class. You can take a break. If your Chromebook charger is broken, bring it into the school, and we will figure something out. We'll get you a new one. You will be charged for the broken charger, but bring it in, and we'll get you a new one. Yeah, somebody asked if I know when we're coming back to school. No, I don't. What I can tell you is that they're going to reevaluate it in September. I can tell you that I believe Benton County, this is probably more information than you want to know, but I believe Benton County is at 134 cases per 100,000, and we need to be at 75 cases per 100,000 over a 2-week period. So it has gone down dramatically, but it's not low enough yet for the health department to have us come back. So at this point, we're not going to be back, obviously, for September. If it continues to go down, we might be back in October, but that's a decision that we'll make when we get closer to October. So, but I don't have any idea, honestly, when we'll be back, and I can't really speculate on that either. I actually just got that question 4 times in a row. Somebody just said that Rapid Identity doesn't show Zoom, so it might not show Zoom for you guys. I apologize for that. It showed Zoom for me, so I assumed it showed Zoom for you guys. But you actually really don't need Zoom anyway because you'll get the links, so you'll just click on those links to get to Zoom. And school started today, but you'll actually start Zooming on Thursday. The introduction videos, if you go to highlands.ksd.org, there, and then just scroll down, you'll find the videos. Oh, let me go back. Somebody asked about the schedule. On Mondays and Thursdays, you go to periods 1, 3, 5, and 7. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, you go to periods 2, 4, 6, and 8. And yes, teachers will send out the the links to Zooms in their Google Classrooms. So somebody asked if you have to dress with actual class if our camera is on. So you need to make sure that what you're wearing is school appropriate. So I got to be honest with you. I spent a lot of time Zooming in shorts over this time, and I don't normally wear shorts. I never wear shorts to school. But I spent a lot of time Zooming in shorts. That's okay. That's fine. Just make sure it's school appropriate. If it's going to be distracting, don't wear it. But make sure it's appropriate what you're wearing. This information, somebody, so I'm assuming this person's in the online academy. If you're in the online academy, yeah, most of this isn't going to apply to you. And I really have almost no answers about online academy, except for that hopefully yesterday you got a phone call about it. And if not, you'll get one today, hopefully. That's really everything I know about online academy at this point. So if you're in online academy, hopefully you'll be getting a phone call from your teacher. I know that the teachers were hired and assigned to students, and they were supposed to be calling yesterday. School supplies, probably if you have paper and pencil, you're probably good, but your teachers should give you more information about what school supplies you need. Oh, and your Chromebook, obviously. So somebody asked if you're going to be able to talk to your friends. Yeah, you can talk to your friends in Zoom. Your teachers are going to give you some time to talk to your friends in Zoom. And if your teachers actually can probably even set up some time specifically just for you and your friends in a Zoom. You'll have to talk to them, and you can also talk to your friends through chat. So, but like in person, no, they're not going to be here in person. I am not going to be the teacher for online students. So somebody again from the online academy, I assume, as asking that. No, you have a teacher. It won't be me. And I know that for a little while I was assigned to you because I was kind of just a placeholder for you. But you will be assigned a teacher. And they should, if they didn't call you yesterday, they should call you today. Somebody asked how you know who your go-to person is. They'll be calling you or emailing you. Your Google Classroom codes will all be sent via email. So you need to check your email for your Google codes. If your teacher has not sent you a Google code, email them directly and ask for it. So somebody asked again about school tomorrow. You won't actually be Zooming tomorrow, but again, check your Google Classroom. Isaiah, the office number is 509-222-6700. 222-6700. If your internet's not working and you can't make it to a Zoom, call the office, or use your phone and email the teachers and let them know that you can't make it. This is not going to be completely different from a regular school. If there's a reason that you can't make it to a Zoom, then there's a reason you can't make it to a Zoom. Yes, you'll be marked absent, but you'll be able to make up the work. And if you're having internet issues getting internet, contact the office and we'll see what we can do to help you. The IT department has some things that we can do to help people who are having trouble getting internet. I talked about PE. They're going to send you links for things you can do. Yes, you're meeting with your math and ELA teacher every day. Somebody asked about headphones. Yeah, so I'm in my office right now, and so there's nobody here, although I can hear people walking past my office. If you are in a place where nothing is going to distract you, you don't need to use headphones. If you're in a place where you're not going to be distracting others, you don't need to use your headphones. But if I'm at home and I'm sitting on my couch, which I would never do, while my wife is watching TV, then I would put on headphones. I don't do that because I could never concentrate that way. But if you're someplace where there's lots of distractions, headphones are probably a good thing for you to buy. If you have a place like my office where nobody's going to distract you, then you probably don't need headphones. You can probably just do it without. I don't usually use headphones because I don't like them. But like I said, if I'm someplace where I'm going to be distracted, if I'm outside, I put on headphones. What is the phrase of the day? Was sent to you an email on Friday, so you have to go back and read your email from Friday to see that. Somebody just asked if you have to stay in this meeting for questions and answers. You don't have to stay. I've had 12 people leave. I don't know who's left. You don't have to stay if you feel like you've got all your questions answered. Yes, somebody asked about masks. If you're in the building, you have to have masks. That's going to be the case when we come back. We'll probably come back in the hybrid model, which means we won't be back every day, and you will for sure have to wear masks. Some teachers may have sent out, Brian wanted to know if teachers were going to send out assignments before Thursday. Some teachers may have sent out assignments, but they would be like get to know you assignments. So again, Google Class Code should be sent to you in an email. In Zoom, again, things that are a distraction. If your dog makes noise, mute yourself. And then when you're talking, unmute yourself. Mute yourself. If you should mute yourself all the time because you never know what's going to happen. So, no, there's no Zooms tomorrow. Somebody asked about band and how you'll do band. Mrs. Estrolato has some plans. Obviously, it's not going to look like it would normally look. Joseph wants to know if we can listen to music during Zoom calls. No, don't listen to music during Zoom calls. You don't have to have earbuds, but if you want them, you can. Oh, Mrs. Paul wants you to know if you're in her class, she has time specifically. So back to Ashton's question about whether you'll have time to meet with friends. Mrs. Paul said she has time specifically set aside for community Zooms weekly so that you guys have a chance to connect with your friends. Somebody asked about grouping up when they're doing assignments. So yeah, teachers have the ability to set up breakout rooms. So in some cases, they're going to set up breakout rooms where you can go work with other people. Somebody asked about sports. Yeah, right now, I don't have a lot of answers on sports right now. I can tell you the sports that were scheduled for the fall right now are either canceled or rescheduled. I'm not sure at the middle school what the reschedule might look like, whether we will actually reschedule sports or not have them. I know at the high school that some of them have been rescheduled and some of them have been canceled. So at this point, we don't have sports, and we won't have sports. We for sure won't have sports until October at least. And we probably won't have football, at least not in the fall, or volleyball. Cross country is kind of a different thing, but. Somebody asked about if they miss classes. It's going to be kind of the same as in normal school. If you miss classes, you need to make up the work. But that's sometimes things can't be avoided. So if you need to miss class, you can miss class. Lunch is at 11:30, but you're on your own for lunch. We do have lunches being delivered via bus every day. So you can you can look at our online schedule or look at the KSD for a schedule of where buses drop off food. The teacher introduction videos are at the bottom of our page. School lunch for right now is being delivered in the mornings. I talked about that. Will we get food deliveries from the school? Yes. On KSD website, there's a link to the bus schedule where they're dropping off food, lunches, breakfast and lunch. Yes, you can leave if you have all your questions answered. JC, yes. It's absolutely going to be harder to do this online than it would be in person. But that's kind of the way this is. So this is kind of where we're at right now. No, I think I answered that music. We don't want you to listen to music during Zoom calls. Somebody asked about when we come back, if you're not comfortable coming back. So let's say that in October we decide to come back and you're not comfortable coming back, or your parents are not comfortable with you coming back. There would be an online academy option that you could look at that time. So you can stay in the your remote learning for right now, and then if we decide to go back in October, then you could look at the online academy as an option, which doesn't require you to come back. Yes, exploratory classes will switch every quarter, like they did in regular school. So I will say that probably the exploratory, the only real change is that you'll probably repeat the one that you have now in the spring, in the periods where we only have 3 exploratories. So you may repeat one. The teachers would obviously do something different, but. So if you want to talk to your teacher, you can call them too. You can call the office. Our secretaries are working in the office, and we can send them an email to call you. Or most of them have their cell phones forwarded in such a way that if you call their room numbers, their room phone numbers, it'll actually go to their cell phones. So if you call the front office and say, I want to talk to Miss Paul, Miss Lakey will just forward it to Miss Paul's room, and Mrs. Paul's room phone will forward it to her cell phone. So you can contact teachers individually that way, or you can email them and set up something. So we have about 1 more minute, so let me. All right. So thank you everybody for attending. I'm going to go ahead and end this so that I can start the 8th grade one and have a fabulous year. Have a nice day. Bye.